My 26 years old wife Jenny cheated on me for a long time. One day I received a message on my cell from someone who informed me that Jenny was sleeping with that person and all the other stuff. There was a moment of panic in me. He sent me a few cropped pictures indicating that it was my wife in the bed. I was blown away, my world slipped under my feet, and I felt sick after that call. I was stunned and called that person. He said he wanted to meet. The reason I asked for a meeting tomorrow was that I was very upset as well as angry. Jenny was doing a lot of things behind my back that I wanted to know about. In reply to my insisting, he said that he had not met yet. However, he said that he would meet soon, and he got the call. I was helpless on that time. I couldn't call him because he switched his phone off after calling me, in spite of the fact that I waited for his call for 2 days. It was killing me, and I could not wait any longer. One night, she was not in the bed when I went to check on her. She was sitting up in the kitchen talking softly to someone on the phone. When I came in front of her, she began to act as if it was her sister who was speaking to her. Finally, when I got a chance and checked her phone, I discovered that she was exchanging text messages back and forth with a person. The two of them were talking about how good their sex was, and even discussed a mild argument they had earlier that evening. She recounted the things they said, and then they both laughed about them. I was fucked up when I saw pictures of Jenny with that man in the bed. I realized that was the man who messaged me. At the time, I was experiencing an extremely depressive state, and I was constantly wondering that what should I do and what should I do next. Having given a great deal of thoughts of this issue, I decided that I should wait until that person was able to meet me, and then I would take action. After that meeting, I've decided to divorce her because I've no doubt that she is cheating on me, and the fact is that we don't even have any children, so it was easy to divorce her without any other issues. It was evident that her behavior was weird. In the following days, she behaved like nothing had happened, and at night, she attempted to have sex with me again. However, I refused to do so. After seeing her in someone else's bed, how can I sleep with her? It is not known to her that I am aware of what she was doing. In the meantime, I have spoken to a lawyer, and am in the process of preparing divorce papers. As I was going through all this, that person James called me and asked me to meet with him. I went to the place that was decided upon. I was getting crazy when I met that person because he wasn't the person who was with her in the bed in the pictures, but instead another man. In a nutshell, I was stunned. In his meeting with me, he told me everything he had told me. He said my wife had dated him for 3 weeks, and he was giving her everything she wanted. He fulfilled all of her luxuries, and after she left, he wanted revenge on her. In disbelief, I told him that I had looked at her phone, and I saw her that she was sleeping with someone else on the phone, and at first I thought it was you, but it turned out that after meeting you, she had been cheating on both him and me. It was a shock for both of us. In my mind, I was thinking about the kind of woman that I married, who has been sleeping with a variety of men, including me. Does she have any shame in herself? In anger, I made the decision to get revenge from her, and then to divorce her as soon as possible. Since James also wanted revenge on her, and it was evident for him by telling all these things to me that they were all for nothing, as she was also cheating on me with another person when he told me all these things. In fact, my anger was at extreme level at that time, and I was just one step away from beating her, but I was able to control myself because I wanted to get revenge on that bitch. Afterward, I will slam the divorce papers on her bloody face and get her out of my house immediately. I took all the pictures and screenshots of the Jenny taken by James in order to provide evidence. I started keeping a close eye on her at all times, since it was evident that she had slept with that man since these messages were sent between them 2 days before, so it is certain that she would meet that asshole as soon as possible. Because I was spying on her at that time, my goal was to get everything set up and ready before I exposed her. I was able to download a complete log of her text messages that she had with her AP. And holy Jesus, she is way more fucked up than I thought so. As a first step, she established the support of the current AP by lying to him about our relationship. She told him I insulted her and was mean, which was not true at all. He was given a justification by her. Perhaps he was showing sympathy to her, and as a result, they became closer. However, it's quite possible that he was just having fun with her and nothing else was going on. He was a rich man. I found out that he and Jenny hung out in a lot of luxury hotels. Jenny was enjoying every luxury with him behind my back. It is only because of this reason that she has fallen in love with this guy, because I am not financially strong enough to fulfill her requirements. After her figuring out this, I realized that I was trying to make her happy the best I could. I am the one who always hugs her, pays her bill, and greets her happily every time she comes home. She's valued above all other by me all the time. In spite of this, she never showed any appreciation for what I had done for her. It was evident from the beginning of our relationship that she was materialistic as well. At the beginning of our relationship, I thought that perhaps she would understand that money is not everything in the world. Since I washed all her sins from James and from her phone, it has taken me some time to come out to the realization. This is because she is still the same person from the past that she was. As of now, I was waiting for her to meet that person. As Jenny's sister came to our house, I was able to hear Jenny's sister whispering to her sister from the door about her experience with the man and the luxury she was enjoying with that man when she came to our house. Jenny also told her that it is wrong and your husband is very loving, so why are you doing this? In her words, she said to her, "Look, a couple grows with time and grows along with each other, and every couple has to deal with challenges from time to time, but that doesn't mean that you start a relationship with another man just for the sake of money." In Jenny's view, it is not only about money, but he is unable to manage my wishes, which is why I am unhappy with him as well. My heart goes already broken, but her thoughts broke me even more. The first time I planned to set up spy cameras in my room, I was curious to see if she would call her AP when she was at home. I checked the recordings after a few days and found that he came into the house and they slept in the bed where I used to sleep with Jenny. For me, it was a psychological torture that I had to face. In spite of this, I accepted the fact that she wasn't mine and that this mess would come to an end as soon as possible. Thus, that night I was a bit disturbed and drank a lot. After that, I intended to tell her that I was heading out of the city for work and would be back in a few days. She would be caught red-handed with her fair partner, and I would call her parents and her sister at the same time in order to expose her, as I would show them everything that I had from James and the message screenshots. As all the cameras had been set up, it was time to proceed with the process. Before then, I observed her for 1 week in order to determine how and when AP arrived and what his timeline was when he came. After watching their moves, we decided to take action. I told her that I was leaving for a tour. When I left the house, I sat in the car at a distance from the house so I could observe when he was going to arrive. In that day, I waited for 3 hours and he did not come. So I thought maybe they are doubting that I know everything about this matter. In the end, he came into the house after 3.5 hours, and I was not expecting it. As soon as I called her family, I asked them to come home to see her as soon as possible. Then I rushed back home and opened the door of my house as I had the master key in my hand, and as I opened the door, the money yard man was laying in the bed naked with her. She started shouting, "Oh my God! Oh my God!" That man got up and started looking for his clothes. This scenario was one of the things that I wanted to show to Jenny's parents, so I locked the door behind me. I was sitting in anger for about 45 minutes before her parents came, and I opened the door and showed them everything that she had done. With evidence of the pictures that I get from the James, I told them that she was not just cheating on me with this man, but she also was cheating on me with another person who was James. I found out everything about her a few days ago from him. I let her current AP go and told her parents that they should get her fucked out of my house with her belongings, and I gave her divorce papers signed by me. In the midst of her pleading, I could only laugh at the sins she was about to commit before me. There is no guilt on my part about what I did, but I am satisfied with what I did because she deserved it. So I am satisfied with what I did.